Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday and happy first day of winter for the Southern Hemisphere people. So today I'm going to run through with you a Theraband workout where everything that we do besides the normal warm-up that I will take you through is going to be using the Theraband. And if you don't have Theraband, then it's absolutely okay to use a rolled up towel or we can use the broomstick. So if you haven't got the Theraband, grab a towel to roll up, or if you've already got your broomstick, well then fantastic. You can use the broomstick. So the reason why Theraband is so great for a workout, it can be used for stretching, it can be used for resistance, so you can use it in your stabilizing movements, and you can also use it for strengthening, so using that resistance for a bit of strengthening. So again, if you don't have your dumbbells, you can quite easily use Theraband. I'm also going to provide you with some instruction on a really easy way to set yourself up at home for some more advanced exercises that will replace, if you don't have gym equipment at home, or if you don't have TRX, you can actually use your Theraband. So I will do that right at the end. But for now, we'll jump straight into today's workout. We still have to warm up, so I'm going to do my favourite and get into some big breaths before we get into increasing our heart rate. So take a big breath in. Just to focus yourself. And just focusing yourself on the act of getting into your exercise and forgetting about what else is going on in the outside world. But I can tell you it's a beautiful day outside for the first day of winter here. Big breath in and out. I'm going to go through my usual warm-up routine. So standing with your hips slightly, a little bit more than hip distance apart, and we're going to roll down one vertebrae at a time. Scoop the stomach in as you're coming down past your hips. Let your head hang down, and we're just going to hang here and give your hamstrings a little bit of a stretch, and with each time we come down, they're going to stretch even further. So if you can touch the floor, great. Touch your toes, or you can hang on to your ankles. You can feel just hanging down here that you're actually getting that great stretch in your hamstrings. Rolling back up again. Take a breath in, and when you come back up, breath out and roll your shoulders back down. And from that position, you can actually feel your shoulder blades settling together and down. Okay, take a big breath in. Take your feet a little bit wider and breathe out. Folding yourself back down one vertebrae at a time. Scoop your stomach in as you go. Letting your head face the floor, and then you're getting a little bit more of a stretch. You stretch, feel it through your lower back. None of these movements are rushed. Everything is controlled. You want to make sure that you're safe. If you have lower back issues, lower back pain, you can still do these by sitting in a chair. And just hang there. Feel your hamstrings stretching nicely. Okay, coming back up halfway, squeezing your shoulder blades together.
Take your arms out. You're still giving your hamstrings a nice stretch. Okay, and then take your right hand over onto your left toe and look out underneath your left armpit up to your palm. Stretch nicely. And then coming back across. Get my hair out of the way. Hold it there. The hamstrings are getting a really good stretch, but we're also opening up, giving a nice rotation of the spine. And rolling back up again. Before I move on, I'm just going to quickly show you how you can do this in the chair. So, as I was saying before, you can just be by sitting up nice and tall and just roll down and just roll through the shoulder blades. With your take your feet hip distance apart. Take your right hand across to your left toe and then rotate through your spine and take your arm up and look out underneath your armpit and opens up the chest. It's nice and supported. Coming back across. We're getting a nice rotation and a nice stretch of the lower back as well. And so you can arch your back, hold on to your ankles and roll back again. So that's just a really easy version of that stretch I was just doing. So let's get back to, all right, so taking your feet nice and wide, your left foot out, so you're opening up through the pelvis. You can start off by resting your arm on your upper leg and then bringing your right arm up and over. So you want to give your stretch all the way through. And if you can, straighten out your left arm. And so you're pushing against your left knee and you're actually opening up your pelvis. And then, by bringing your arm up and taking your arm back, you're going to open up your chest as well. When you take a breath in, breathe into your rib cage. So you're really stretching out your intercostal muscles, which are your muscles in between your ribs. Hold that there. And then come back down, hands either side of your foot. Coming up, you're going to stretch down through your hip flexors and take a big breath in and out. And take a breath in and out. Hi, Lelania. Lelania's in the house. Take a breath in and out. And Kat's got to climb her way out from the cameras. Okay. Taking it across to the other side. And take your arm onto your leg. Stretch up. And over. Take a breath into the side of your rib cage. And out. And then stretch out your right arm, push against your pelvis, open that up, opening up the chest. And just take your arm up, because that's going to open up your chest as well. There we go. And then take your hands either side of your foot, coming up nice and straight. Woo. Find the balance and stretch down through your hip flexors. That's it. Take a big breath in and out and in. Okay, coming back down, bring your left foot forward to your right. Hang on to your ankles and push your pelvis up towards the ceiling, so you're going to get a nice stretch in the lower back and your hamstrings. And then you're going to roll up one vertebra at a time. There we go. And then bring your shoulder blades together. Okay, so I'm going to start off on the floor, and I will show you the options that you can do in the chair, just in case you have some issues getting on and off the floor. But I'm going to show you first on the floor, where you're going to be nicely supported by a wall. So if you can find a wall, bring your mat over for a bit of cushioning under your bottom. So this first one we're going to do is the row. So if you can imagine yourself on a rowing machine, where you're doing this action, doing the end action, because we can't actually do the row because we don't have the push-off ability with the seat going backwards and forwards. So this is going to be the static row. And I've talked a lot about setting yourself up with your shoulder blades squeezed together and down. So we don't want to see this action or squeezing and over exaggerating. So imagine you've got a string in between your shoulder blades and you're squeezing that together. And once you've achieved that, don't go the extra mile. So you just want to achieve that squeeze. And when you do that, it opens up the chest. You can feel your upper abdominals switch on. You can also feel yourself tighten through the lower abdominals. So let's get into it. Place your Theraband around your feet. Bend your knees, nicely supported with the lower back on a wall or a cupboard. And you've got your shoulder blades backing down. And you're just drawing your elbows in. Like that. Coming in, let's do 10. 4. So you're really using your rhomboids, which are in between your shoulder blades, and your serratus anterior in that movement. For a bit more resistance, you can shorten the band, or you can get a heavier Theraband. So the green, the blue, and the black. Generally, you know, if you're going up, just go up one at a time. Shortening the band helps increase that resistance. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take it wider, so we're going to go out and down. So you can stay in this position, set yourself up with your shoulder blades, squeeze together and down. You feel yourself tighten up through the upper abdominals. And we're going to take it down and out. And you can really feel it through your serratus anterior, through these muscles and your upper abdominals, and through your rhomboids. And you're going down. And you're nicely supported through your lower back by sitting down on the floor. 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if you don't have a Theraband, I'm just going to grab my stick. And with the row, you can still be in this position. And it's just the action coming down with your elbows. So set yourself up still. Same way. And I can still feel myself working
the rhomboids and the serratus anterior, and I'm still tightened through in the shoulder blades. And so again, with the wider Theraband, so the out and down, go for a wider grip on your broomstick and take it down with your elbows. Don't forget to breathe. Take it down wider. 8, 9, 10. As easy as that. Now I'm just going to quickly show you, I'll show you those versions when I get to the chair, and there's a couple of other ones, and I'll do them all at once in the chair, because the other ones that I'll be doing, you know, it's still nice to have that support in your lower back. Now we're going to move to the roller. Again, if you don't have a roller, you can do this one laying on, just on the floor, on your mat. And so for those of you who do have your roller, if you don't have it for today's live version, that's okay. You can grab it later, or you can run and grab it now. So just roll yourself out. Making sure that your head's nicely supported. Get your balance first. And so, like in the roller exercise I did a couple of weeks ago, so it'll be the same thing. Holding your Theraband in between your palm and your thumb. Never wrap the Theraband around your hand. Okay, squeezing through your shoulder blades, flatten down your rib cage. Now just bringing your arms up above your head, and so you've got a slight tension on the Theraband. Taking it to there and coming back down. This is going to set you up for the next exercise that I'll take you through. You can absolutely do this without a roller. And coming down, be very aware that you're nice and firm through your torso. And come down. Okay, one more. And down. And then we're going to bring our arms back up to shoulder height. Give yourself some slack, because you're actually going to take your single arm raise above the head with a little bit of tension. Okay. Make sure your rib cage is nice and flat on the roller. And breathe out. Come in, breathe in. And out, take the other arm back. Keep this arm nice and stable. A little bit of resistance. And out. Control that movement down. I know my arm just flopped up then. Just keeping nice and stable. This is enough of a workout even. These slow resistance workouts, although we're not jumping up and down and moving all around the place to get our heart rate up, these are plenty. Because you're actually concentrating on isolating the muscles. And come back. And down. And one more each side. That's it. We're just isolating that shoulder movement too. And engaging all our other shoulder stabilizing muscles at the same time. Okay, alright, so I'm going to come off the roller and we're going to go just going to demonstrate these ones first, and I'm going to do it in the chair as well. So you've got nice support, but I find it easier to explain it when I'm standing up. So these next ones are going to really encourage your shoulder blades to come together. And so what I'll do is I'm just going to turn my back. And so you'll see my shoulder blades are backing down. This one's called the waiter. So you just take your Theraband around the back and your palms are facing up. And again, you're just holding the Theraband between your thumb and your palm. And so I've got a good range of movement in the external rotation. Surprise, surprise. But many women will lack that external rotation just because they're lacking, we've got a lot of shoulder restrictions. So even if your shoulders come to about here, you can still do this exercise. I'm able to take my hands out wide, and so in that position there, that encourages the shoulder blades to come together. And again, you want to set yourself up. So by doing that, you're pulling your shoulder blades together, you're getting nice and strong through your lower abdominals and your upper abdominals. And so this is going to be the movement. Take your palms straight out. Keeping your shoulder blades engaged together. Come out. And shoulder blades together, and control that movement back again. And together. So, if you would like more support, you can do this sitting down. I'll do it sitting down in a second, but let's just go do a set of 10 for this one. If you're finding that the Theraband is giving you too much resistance, you can actually do this. Try it without the Theraband first, and then gradually increase the resistance, like let a little bit more of the band out. Okay. And you've got a little bit of resistance, but if you want to increase that resistance, shorten the band. Okay, so here we go. It's a nice controlled movement. Four. Five. I'm going to turn back around now so you can see what it looks like from the front. We'll do 5 more. 7, 8, 9, 10. This looks super easy, but everything that's controlled with a little bit of resistance does give you a workout. Okay, so I'm just going to grab the chair. I just want to show you that you can do this sitting down. So, take the Theraband behind. Now, don't slouch back in your chair. It's not a rest. And preferably, if you've got a kitchen chair without the arms getting in the way, that's better. So, you can sit forward, nice and strong, feet hip distance apart, nice and tight through the lower abdominals, and you can still do this just as well as standing up. And you're still working your shoulder blades. You're even getting a workout through your biceps. But it's controlled movement. You want to be able to make sure that your shoulder blades are squeezed together. And you're not using your upper trapezius either. You don't want to shrunk your shoulders. Easy. And one more. That's it. Okay, so the next one is a great stretch for the triceps. It's a good strengthening exercise for the triceps as well. And it's a nice stretch, and you're still encouraging opening up the chest. You don't want to arch all the way back. You're still nice and stable through the lower abdominals, stable through the back, but it promotes you opening up the chest. And there's so many reasons why we want to open up the chest, and that's to encourage a great lymphatic flow from one side to the other. It also enables us to increase our breathing capacity into our lungs. And also by opening up the chest, you've got an increased range of movement. Because if we're down like this, we don't get much movement at all. Our breathing's restricted and our lymphatic flow is restricted as well. So that's why we're always encouraging you to open up and stand nice and tall. And even in this position, by standing up nice and tall, you feel more energized. Okay, so this one I call drying the back. And so I'm going to set myself up. I'll turn around. So you're holding onto the Theraband just down in the small of your back with this hand. And you've got the other piece of Theraband over your shoulder, just setting yourself up. And so it feels like it's going to be that sort of action, that's why I call it drying the back. But this hand here doesn't move. This one is bracing and holding the Theraband. Your other arm, if you can, with your elbow pointing to the ceiling. And so this is going to be the action. By that action there, it squeezes your shoulder blades together. And so we're just going to straighten up your elbow. And it's an isolated movement of just moving the elbow. That's the movement. So you can use this as a stretching exercise, but if you want to increase the resistance, just shorten the band. Okay, so I'm just shortening the band, and so bending the elbow, and it isolates that triceps muscle, increasing the strength. What to avoid is bending your head forward. You want to be up nice and straight. So let's do 10 of these. Five. I think I've done a few now. 6. But I'll do 4 more. You can really feel by isolating the triceps muscle. You'll be screaming in a second. 9. 10. So give that a little bit of a stretch. You can stretch that out. So it's that same movement. I'm stretching it up. Okay, I'm going to do the next side sitting down so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So again, just pop the Theraband over your shoulder. Take this hand that's going to brace the Theraband and just sit your hand in the small of your back. If you don't have that range of movement, just sit it down like this. Because when you come into the chair, you'll be nicely supported. Okay, I've just done that one, so let's change over. Here we are. So this is what it's going to look like this time. Cut off a really long piece of Theraband today. It's flapping. Okay, so again, do a body check. You don't have to race into any sort of movement because you can find yourself arching your back. So just bring your rib cage back down, and as soon as you do that, you're nice and strong through your lower abdominals. I'm going to give myself an extra piece of Theraband. And so pointing your elbow towards the ceiling. And that's giving us a great upper body and lower abdominal workout by giving your biceps, your triceps, your shoulder blades, your serratus anterior, your upper abdominals and your lower abdominals. They're all working. So I'm just going to do one quick one while we're sitting in the chair. And so if you don't have your weights or dumbbells, okay, sitting up nice and straight, just holding onto your Theraband like that and just doing some dumbbell curls. Let's do 10. Nice and controlled, especially controlled on the way back down. You don't want to let the Theraband fling your arms back down. You want to control that movement. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could do this whole routine sitting in the chair. If it's too difficult for you to get on and off the floor. Okay, let's do one more set of 10 for the biceps. This is a really great workout for your arms today. So making sure you're sitting up nice and tall, shoulder blades squeezed together. And let's do another set of 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just using your biceps, not any other muscle, to bring up the Theraband. And I'm pretty sure that is 10. Okay. Also wanted to show you very quickly how you can set up in the home gym. What I've done here is, I am lucky because I've got this fixture here on the wall, but you'll be able to set up your Theraband on a hook, so you can get those hooks where it's nice and flat, where you can stick it on top of a door. And then you get the hook, you'll be able to thread your close the door and thread your Theraband over that hook. Or if you have a beam inside the garage, or even some, cupboards are not very good because they'll open. So we'll just go for this for now. And so this replaces a couple of pieces of gym equipment, even modifying a TRX workout. That's a whole new workout we can go through. But I just wanted to show you some extras. So for, again, triceps and biceps, setting yourself up, you have your shoulder blades together and down. You've got your elbows tucked into your side. Your arm is at 90 degrees. And from here, it's an isolated movement, just coming down. Really simple. So if you have been to the gym before and you've got your tricep pull down, you've got your pulley, this works exactly like that. Because you still have to control the Theraband movement on the way up again. So you might want to go for a heavier resistance in the Theraband, but this does just as well. So you're pushing down, you're controlling that movement up, which means you're you're working your biceps as well. So let's do 10. Four, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and so again for another, the lat pull downs. So in the gym, you've got the bar that goes across. You're generally sitting down or standing up, and you're bringing the bar down using your lats and squeezing your shoulder blades together and down. So again, you can replicate that by using the Theraband. So starting up Starting up nice and high. Your elbows are just above shoulder height. So squeeze your shoulder blades down, and then you're using your lats to bring that movement down, nice and controlled. And so this is a similar exercise to what you were doing sitting on the floor using the Theraband with the wider one. Okay, and you can also do that from a seated position as well, if you want that support through the lower back. So it's just a matter of if you can get a hook over your door, or you've got something in the garage that you can throw this over a beam, or you can get a setup where you've got a bracket. So it can be done. So let's just do a quick stretch warm down, because we've done, your muscles will be firing from that little exercise routine. So let's just take a big breath in and out. I'm just going to get down on the floor in a second and do a nice stretch. And one more. So we're just adding more and more to your exercise repertoire. You don't have to do everything all at once, all the time. You can take bits and pieces, however you're feeling. All these exercises will be loaded into the members area. So go over to the Move With Me next level and you'll find these exercise routines over there. So by logging into your members portal. Okay, so down on all fours, squeezing through the shoulder blades, and then into cat stretch. And then come back tiny little bit in that, don't go all the way back. And you're going to stretch beautifully through the lower back. This is one of my favourite stretches. I'm on the surfboard all the time, so my back is extended, so I love doing this stretch. And then coming back. And if you can, a great stretch for your forearms too is taking your palms facing back towards you and take a little lean back, and you're giving your flexor muscles in your forearm a nice stretch. And then come back around. And then do a cat stretch and come back a little bit. Stretching the lower back, scooping in the stomach. And then coming back and squeeze through shoulder blades. Now I'm going to go all the way back onto my haunches. And take my hands all the way out the front. This is one of my favourite stretches. Take your right hand, place it on your left without moving your left. And this is going to stretch all the way down your side. When you breathe into the side of your rib cage. Again, you're going to stretch out that rib cage. And then take your hand back again. Take your left hand on top of your right. Again, just breathe into your side of your rib cage. And take it back. So it's a really great stretch. We've done a lot of movement through our biceps and triceps and down through the side, your serratus anterior. So that's a fantastic way to finish off. So now just roll your shoulders and squeeze. And that's it for today's workout.